the 1100 this morning to get a mid pipe made. They were going to make it out of stainless, but they didn't have that size. And here's what the guy made me. Doesn't quite fit in here too good, so I got to weld this in here. So, and he just flanged it down there. I might put some splices and a clamp on it. I'm not sure, maybe I don't even need it. So the front will be one piece, and then I'll weld this, and then the back will be one piece, and then I'll make a better bracket for in here. I've got to be up a little more. Yeah, this whole thing's got to go way up. Way up. Okay, let me screw with that. Okay. Kind of looking at the angles here, angles here, perpendicular. Let's see how that looks. I think that looks pretty good. Hold it up like that a little bit. Why I'm not welding too good, and it's this ground. If I get a good clean spot and put it on this side, I don't have a good ground. If I put the good ground on this side where the cable is, I get a good ground. It welds better. Okay, that's fairly right. I like to weld it like that. So let's put this cable like this. Okay, let me try it. Power. God. working. I got it. You can tell it's a little bit too high. So I got minimum max, I got 1, 2. Let me try 1. And turn the speed down a little bit, see what happens. That's enough to hold it. Make it Peter to weld that. It's I don't have that set right. I can tell by the sound of it. Okay, I need a 1/2-inch wrench. Okay, just gonna finish welding that. Big gap in here. Peter's good at filling those gaps in. I think I'll take that to him. He's good at that. And I don't know if I even need to. Yeah, I could slot this. Put some slots in it and then put my clamp on there too. But I'll get Peter to weld this. Okay. I'm getting better. There was a little spot there I missed, but my welding is getting better. I'm just welding it up myself. Grind that out smooth, and that'll look good. I drilled the 2 rivets out and then gave that a light scuff and a paint job. There's lots of little dings in it, but it looks a lot better. And I finished welding that in there. Ground it down. That's going to look all right. And I don't know if I'll paint this with a heat paint. I think I'm not sure. It kind of looks nice silver like that, but it's gonna turn colors pretty quickly. But I'm gonna cut some slots in here so I can put the clamp on it. Clamp that on the bike, and then I really need to make a better bracket than what I had on there. I had a temporary one on there, but yeah, it looks a lot better than it was. We're almost there. That stainless steel exhaust I had, it had just 2 slits in it. But I'm thinking maybe 3. Maybe 2, I don't know. I'll do 1 first. Oh yeah, just face. So this is facing this way, so this will be at the bottom. Square that up a little bit more. just try 2. Not too center. That's pretty good there. The exhaust flow is this way and it's tapered. It shouldn't back up. The main reason why I want to cut these slots in is just to clamp it on tight. So, yeah, I think that'll work. I'll show you the other one. Here's the stock Vance Hines one. 1/2-inch slot in either side. It's pretty thick walled. Looks like it's double walled. So let's try it. Good. I just put that clamp on like that. So I want the clamp at the top so it can't drag on the bottom. I'll get it mounted on here. Ugh. Turn this light on. I get a lot of glare in this garage. This light gives a lot of glare too. But I'm going to remake this bracket here. It's just kind of roughly to show me whereabouts I wanted it. Let's see how this fits. Ugh. I made this piece a while ago for the bolts to go in. I'm going to take that off. Place. I kind of wish they had tucked it up a little higher up in here, but there's no way it's going to hit the ground. It's in the center of the bottom of the bike, but I'll show you how that looks there. Yeah, lower this sucker down here. Lower this down here. Here. Yeah, it's hanging down pretty low, but the header itself, I mean, I didn't make that. That's Vance Hines. Is it Vance Hines or Kirker? I can't remember what it is now. I think it's Vance Hines. Like that's already down there low anyway, so I'm not any lower than that. I'm actually higher than that. But yeah, that looks good. So I'm going to make this bracket in here a little bit better now. I just made a cheap one to kind of bolt it there in place until I got that made, but I could run the bike like that right now. It should run nice. Okay, let me take this off and make something a little prettier here. This is what I got. This piece of crap in here, so let me see if I can make something. I'm going to take off this whole foot peg bracket, the brake, so I can get to the back of these 2 bolts and make a proper bracket. You know, you can buy a brand new Vance Hines or Kirker header set. Sometimes you can for these older bikes. It's getting harder now, but you can spend, you know, 800 bucks, 1,000 bucks on them. And oh, I want to put a little mark right there. Let's see if there's a little mark. Oh, there's a dot. There's a dot right there where that goes back on. But yeah, I forgot what I picked up this for here. 80 bucks or something. 60, 80, 100 at the most. I don't spend more than that on them. And then I found that header pipe online, brand new in the original box. The original kit that came with it. And for I think it was 150 bucks. 125, 150 bucks. So, but this bike here, what I look for, so this is a 1100 GK. It's going to be the same thing. So I look for a can or a muffler that's off like maybe a newer Gs1100, you know, or an R1, you know, in that same volume capacity of air going through the piston, so the same displacement. So that's how I do it. And you know, I'm not looking to make a racing bike here. I make one that sounds nice, sounds good, and looks good, and works good. Like, you know, if I'm going to tune this bike and make it a drag bike or a super fast bike and race my buddies, yeah, you know, then you want to find exactly the right pipe for your bike. But in a lot of cases, I put these pipes on in a 4-into-1, and you can just feel the difference in power. Like you're getting way more power because they're all basically tuned the same. 1000cc bike from one brand to the other. A lot of the companies will use the same can for Suzuki, Yamaha, Honda. Just change the header pipe. So, not rocket science, but it's a cheaper way of making your own header. And usually they come with the mid pipe. This one didn't come with a mid pipe. Or it came with that little piece of the pipe, but not all of it. I needed to take this thing off or not, this thing. Maybe not. Well, I'm here now. I'll take it off. Don't think I need it. Oh yeah, those went into the frame there, so yeah, I had to take those off. So now I want to make a bracket. See, these are recessed, so I wanted to make a bracket to tie in either both of these or one of these. I want right now I just had this bracket bolted to one of them. It needed to be stable, so it's got to go to both of them. So I need to fix a longer bolt and a spacer. Unless I can run it over to this one. Or this one. Better to use these two. Yeah. Figure out how to get it off. Okay. This foot peg was just held on with 2 nuts from the back, and it's recessed in here, so they had to put 2 spacers in here. See, like that was seized in there. I had to tap it out with a hammer. So these bolts aren't going to be long enough for me to mount a bracket on the back of them, so I need longer bolts, or at least one of them to be longer. So I'm going to see if I can press these out or hammer them out. First I'll just try, let's see, which is the back. Let's see if I can get this one out. I'm going to have to put it in my press. It might even be welded in there, who knows? Well, it's coming. Doesn't matter if I hurt the threads because I'm not using it again. There it goes. It was spot welded on the back. So I'll clean that up. I may as well take them both out so that they match. I'll put 2 matching bolts in there. There goes that one. Okay, I'm going to clean this up. I cleaned the rust off it a fair bit. And this is my stainless steel box. Put a nice stainless steel washer over that, and you won't even be able to tell. There's 2 of those. And I may have to go to Peter's there after work. He's got a real good selection of stainless steel bolts. That'd be the size I need there. Perfect. Put a couple bolts like that. That's the size, probably 3/8. If I could find one more like this, I'd be all set. Got some stainless steel nuts right here. I'm gonna dig around and see if I can find one more of these. I didn't find another stainless one. I found a steel one, and same length and everything. So I'm gonna put that in there for now, and then I can give, when I see Peter tonight, I can get the right ones from him. So now I need to find a couple washers to space that out a little bit better. Okay, I got a couple washers. Fit in there pretty good. So now I can kind of make a plate, maybe to tie all 3 of them in, and then off to the muffler. So here's my dilemma here, and I knew this from the beginning, is that I'm 2 different planes here. You can see it's on 2 different planes. So ideally I'd like to have a piece of metal down here for this piece, about that thick, 3/16, and then I weld a plate from this plate overlapping that one. That would be super strong. I got some stainless here. I'm just thinking about doubling it up, but no. So I need to find a piece of a 3/8 steel, plate steel, and I just need a little square piece to go over top, weld it together, and that'll do it. Okay, far from what my design template was, but I can only work with the materials I got. So there it is. It's stepped. It's 2-stage. Got a good weld on there. Good enough. And how's this go? This goes. Goes just like that. So I think I can put this bolt in first. I'll find some bolts and washers for this. That's how it's going to bolt on like that. I gotta take it off, forgot to paint it. Start over. Here's the bracket in there, you can hardly even notice it. Down below there, 3 bolts. some penetrating oil on there. Well, let's hear how it sounds. Choke on. Kill switch neutral. Had that camera in reverse. That bike's done. I'm gonna sell this bike. Maybe $1,500. $1,500, I think. Comes with some extra parts. I got some signal lights. There's the back carrier. It's a little rusty. Could sandblast it, paint it black. That green bag over there is the tour bag for it, the original GK tour bag. Somebody's painted it green. Oh, there's some other parts in there too. Suzuki emblems, reflectors. Yeah. Yeah, I think that's a good deal for somebody. $1,500. It's all tuned up, filters, oil. I can't remember what I did to the fork seals and brakes and all that. Changed the rear end fluids. Switched all the parts over from it. Put a headlight on it. I got a brand new tack cable. It's in port here and just haven't picked it up yet. Switched to the good tires on this one. Went through the whole bike. The front brakes were a little mushy. That's the brake lines. Could order some new brake lines. They work, but a little bit mushy. But that's the brake lines. You can see them actually swelling when I pull the lever. There we go.